Hello everyone, my name is Kieren Rudge and today I'll be presenting on solar canopies in Connecticut on the environmental benefits, siting potential, and policies associated with them. I'm representing People's Action for Clean Energy, or PACE, and our new Coalition for Sensible Solar Regulation. And I apologize for not presenting this live today, but please feel free to reach out to me at my email listed below. So to start, what is the context for why this discussion is important? So as you can see in some of these headlines, there has been a lot of controversy and clashes that have existed between solar development and those trying to preserve forested or agricultural land. This often pits environmentalists against each other, and it can run into a lot of conflicts. The photo in the background here shows a traditional ground-mounted commercial scale solar system that has been developed upon former agricultural land. So in the context of this, what can solar canopies do? So solar canopies are different because they reduce the need to encroach upon natural resources, and this is done by converting impervious surfaces into energy resources. And in the same time, this is supporting a decentralized and resilient grid. So some of the overview and benefits. As I said, solar canopies are constructed over impervious surfaces. So those are things like parking lots, landfills, and other existing land uses. And this enables them to preserve farmland and forests while still developing renewable energy and supporting local distributed energy generation, which is important because these parking lots and other sites where solar canopies can be installed are generally close to energy sinks, which reduces losses due to long transmission distances and fosters grid resilience. Solar canopies can also be easily paired with electric vehicle charging stations, as well as battery storage, and they act in secondary roles to protect the ground from elements, the cars, the asphalt, and this actually helps to reduce urban heat, which is important as climate change impacts heat and causes worse heat waves. And this lastly has some potential to address environmental justice concerns by ameliorating that urban heat island effect and bringing distributed energy benefits to low-income, underserved environments. So to understand solar canopies better, we at PACE conducted a statewide study looking at the potential for solar canopies across the entire state. And here are some of the high-level numbers, namely that there are over 8,000 potential sites across the state in large parking lots. And these solar canopies could potentially produce up to 37.0% of Connecticut's currently used electricity demand. So very big, and this data can be found in an extended version in our report and study. Here on the left, you can see a map of all the potential sites throughout the state. Again, there's 8,000 sites, and this map is available in an interactive form that you can find on our website to engage with more thoroughly. And on the right, you can see a bar graph demonstrating some of those environmental justice benefits, as I talked about earlier. So in low-income and majority person of color census tracts, there's actually greater potential for solar canopies than the average throughout the state. And then lastly, some policy recommendations to think about in the context of solar canopies. So one, we want to think about creating adder incentives for solar canopies and related infrastructures. So adders are important in that they can provide an additional incentive to the development of solar canopies on top of existing incentives for solar in general. So this can really help to offset the costs associated with canopy infrastructure and encourage their development. And we're recommending an adder of 6 cents per kilowatt hour produced, which would align Connecticut's policies with those in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. A second recommendation would be to expand or remove caps on commercial solar development. So the current caps put in place really limit how much solar can be developed while reaping incentives, and also the maximum size of commercial facilities. So one change we're proposing is increasing the maximum size of shared clean energy facility projects up to 5 megawatts. So permitting these larger projects would just improve their financial ability and enable a larger amount of sites to be built. A third recommendation is to support an equitable and modern grid. So this is policies that support distributed energy systems in particular, which solar canopies can be one of. And then lastly, thinking about zoning and local ordinances. So simple things like explicitly defining solar canopies in local ordinances and enabling variances and more flexibility that allows solar canopies to be built in towns. So that's our presentation on solar canopies. And again, please feel free to reach out to me or the PACE contact information and check out these resources on our websites. Thank you.